Good morning, Ramesh.
Hello.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, sir. This is Ramesh.
Hi, Ramesh.
Good morning, sir.
Boy.
I think you can have a trial version of sharing your screen, sir.
Somebody's sharing. So let me.
No issues, sir. No, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No issues, sir. Please.
Okay, fine. Hi, Ramesh.
Good
Hello,
morning, sir.
Boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's working. Nothing to worry.
Right.
We will start the session exactly by 10 o'clock, sir.
No issues now.
Students are joining through YouTube link.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly by 10, we'll start the session.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Prabha, ma'am, good morning.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Good morning. You're audible, ma'am.
I don't need to be in my video, right? I can just actually present and speak, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The choice is yours, sir. If you are, if you can have your have your screens on, nothing to worry, and even you can switch off your video when you're presenting your screen. Thank you, sir.
No issues. Yes.
The choice is yours.
Thank you.
Gopi.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Gopi. You can have your snapshots, Gopi.
Sure, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, எல்லாத்தையும் கோவர்ஸ் பண்ணி விட்டாச்சுங்க சார்.
Yes. Okay, Karthi, proceed. YouTube linkல பாருங்க ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ். எனக்கு ஒரு டெக்ஸ்ட் வாட்ஸ்அப்ல எனக்கு ஒரு டெக்ஸ்ட் பண்ணிருப்பா. எவ்வளவு ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்காங்கறத மட்டும் நான் அப்படியே வாட்ஸ்அப்ல பாத்துக்கறேன். கார்த்தி நோ நீட் பா. நானே யூடியூப்ல என்டர் ஆயிட்டேன். நான் பாத்துக்கறேன். அன்மியூட் பண்ணு.
ஹலோ சந்துரு பேர் வருங்களா? அப்போ அதுதான்.
Postmortem.
அட்மிட் பண்ணிட்டேன். Prabha madam?
Sir, சொல்லுங்க சார்.
I think it's almost 9:58. We will start the program exactly by 10 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Team members of Retrospective, Kokila madam, Tenmoli and Sivaraja, please get ready. We are about to start. Karthi?
எஸ் சார்.
யூடியூப் டைமிங் என்னப்பா? எவ்வளோ நிமிஷம் இருக்கு? லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீமிங் கொடுத்துட்டீங்களா?
சார் கொடுத்தாச்சுங்க சார். லைவ் போய்.
ஓகே, இட்ஸ் ரன்னிங். அப்போ ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாமா?
எஸ் சார். ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே. சார் கணபதி சார்?
Yes, I am here.
Sir, shall we start?
Yes, sure, definitely.
Yes, sir. We will proceed within a minute or so. Madam, we will start the session. Proceed, please proceed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A warm good morning to all of you. Myself, Dr. K. Prabha, Assistant Professor, welcome you all on behalf of Computer Science Department. We are proud to say that our department is one among the 5 departments of our college, recognized by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and received a grant of rupees 1.04 crore under DBT Star College scheme. It is very distinct and evident that Computer Science Department is doing an exemplary job in endowing prime education in the field of computer science and in the distinctive development of technical, non-technical, and personal skills of the students throughout the year. Being illustrious computer science people, we once again take this juncture to express our glad and welcome for this DBT-sponsored interdisciplinary program, a guest lecture on guidance on project management with Mr. B. Ganapathy Subramaniam, Technical Project Manager, Automation Practice Lead, CI India Private Limited, Chennai, as resource person. We welcome you, sir. To begin this auspicious occasion, we would like to invite Mr. S. Sivaraja, sir, Assistant Professor, to formally welcome the gathering. Please, sir.
Good morning to all. Respected President of today's function, our Honorable Correspondent, Thiru K. Palanisamy Avargal, respected Principal, Dr. N. Raman, distinguished Chief Guest of this program, heads of various departments of computer discipline. A warm good morning to one and all. It gives me immense of pleasure to welcome you all to the guest lecture, Guidance on Project Development, sponsored by the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, under DPT Star College scheme conducted by UG Department of Computer Science, Konga Arts and Science College, Autonomous, Erode. Our correspondent, who is the motivator and a moral supporter of all our activities that we carry out for the benefits of the student community, which always results in success. He is a man with a great vision and practical ideas. With much delight and gratitude, we welcome our correspondent, Thiru K. Palanisamy Avargal. Welcome you, sir. Our principal, Dr. N. Raman, a man of simplicity but an inspiring personality, who stands behind every activity of our department with his valuable suggestions. We welcome you, sir, on this auspicious occasion. With immense of happiness and honor, we welcome the resource person, Mr. B. Ganapathy Subramaniam, sir, Technical Project Manager, Automation Practice Lead in CEI India Limited, Chennai. We welcome you, sir. Leaders can work toward making their vision a reality while putting people first. I gladly welcome the DPT Department Coordinator and Head of the Department, Mr. P. Ramesh, who is a leader, one who initiates the process by taking up his more responsibilities on his shoulders. I welcome you, sir. It's my pleasure to welcome all faculty members of Computer Science, BCA, CT and IT departments, and my beloved students of the above said departments to this guest lecture program. Last but not least, I welcome you all again. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your earnest welcome address. It's time to introduce our resource person of the day. Now we invite Ms. P. Tenmoli, ma'am, Assistant Professor, to introduce our guest of today's function. Please, ma'am.
Good morning to all. It is a great honor for me to introduce and welcome our resource person of today's program, Mr. Ganapathy Subramaniam, sir, Technical Project Manager, Automation Practice Lead, CAI India Private Limited. He has handled various end-to-end projects in various technologies, which involves Microsoft Practice, automation practices, desktop application, and embedded programming. He has conducted seminars and webinars related to software development, mobile application development, IoT development, industry practices, data analytics, and machine learning topics. He has conducted hands-on workshop for mobile application development, IoT, cloud-based learning implementation, etc. He has been appointed as a Board of Studies member as an industrial expert in various academic institutions. He is a Microsoft certified professional and SiteScore certified developer. He has accomplished software professional specialization in Windows, web and mobile development with 17 years of experience with software development and software quality assurance process. He has architected solutions in various technologies involving solution development, reporting framework, embedded development, and generic automation. He has created mobile application development framework. He also possesses solid management skills, demonstrated proficiency in leading and mentoring individuals to maximize levels of productivity while forming cohesive team environments. He has handled several teams to ensure the good productivity without compromising the quality. He has implemented agile development strategies to ensure best practices for the teams and client services. Dear faculty members and my dear students, we are indeed very happy to have such an eminent personality as our resource person, Mr. Ganapathy Subramaniam sir, for today's special activity, guest lecture on guidance on project development. Now it is time to hear his enlightened speech. Sir, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all for this invitation. It's my great pleasure to be here to speak today. And this gathering is actually I like it very nice, bringing in together for the two different communities, which sometimes have too little to do with each other. Like industries and the practical knowledge of how actually the industries maintains the project and the software and applications. So that is completely you may feel that is completely different than what we are actually learning in the college, but that is 70 to 80% is false. It is whatever the foundation and the base that we actually gather in the colleges, what we learn, the subjects, everything actually speaks about the practical things only, but how we take it up on that is the thing that we need to look upon. Yeah. So ma'am, shall I continue with the session?
Yes, sir, please proceed.
Thank you. Right. So once again, actually, thank you for your time and joining this session. That is basically on the guidance of the project development. How actually, so usually I have always tell my people, even my team. Actually, I handle around 120 people in my company. So I always tell that the willingness to the learn is by choice. If you have a choice of learning, no matter actually where you stand, what you actually have, maybe there is a reason that I don't have an internet connection or I don't have something like that. Okay, but whatever the choice may be, if you have the willingness to learn, it is actually you can learn at any time and anywhere. So that is my overall quote says here, because the capacity is to learn is a gift, ability to learn is a skill, but willingness to learn is by choice. Thank you, guys. All right, so we're going to see the agenda that we are actually going to do today. So we are going to talk about the software development, evolution, development process, DevOps roadmap, and then we will actually look upon what are all the tools and the techniques that are actually used in the industry, and what are the learning labs, because I believe that you guys are actually very startups. So if you are going to do that to continue, what are all the learning labs that are available that actually where you can go and learn practically, and finally we can conclude with the QA and the feedback. Okay, let's start with the software development. So basically, software and the hardware are always actually combined together, isn't it? So we need to understand how actually it evolved from the beginning, specifically. In the modern world, when you take a look into it, we have 40% of the people, but we have a 60% of the other computer equipments. We cannot actually live with these electronic items, right? And we have been told that these computers will sophisticate our life, how actually it will be like that, and it can transfer the data from one place to another, and whatever actually we do, even actually the initial phase of transmitting the data through frequency modulation kind of a techniques, now actually it's become a satellite, isn't it? So where we actually live, the world has been seen as a clean and pure, but the technologies, whatever the technology that we live in, this is a reality that actually transfers the data in any way, and the software that is involved in that become very tedious on that one. So this is the actual world that we actually live in. So these many satellites are there and out there, and we used to communicate between those. So we need to accept the reality that we are technology-based survival species. Okay, like without technology, we cannot actually survive. And how we actually communicate with each other when you go back to 30 years, and now it is actually there is an immense advancement in all these technologies, isn't it? Right. So when we talk about evolution, we don't want to care about 1950s, 1960s, and like that, because anyway that is went past. Just actually we take a couple of decades before. Okay. So in 2000s, early 2000s, and we have started using the waterfall model and the traditional waterfall model, which is nothing but actually parallel development model and expert tools, which consumes a lot of resources that, if you want to build a project, then actually that project will actually bring upon 70-member team, 100-member team, 150-member team. And the tools that they use is actually in a vast manner in the sense every tool needs to be by its individual, and then it has to represent the functionalities, and then we need to switch to another tool to accomplish the functionality. And the skills required for those is also actually high in 2000s, and the cost of the project, because of the increased resources, because of the increased tools, the cost of the project is also actually higher. So being said that, even if we have all that, the time to market for that particular product is actually higher than that. So previously, if you look at that in 2000s, when software development application is being planned, they will be planning a year worth of time. See, the launch of this product will commence in 2000. For example, if I start today, it will be 2022 or something like that. So that is what the elaborated plan actually looks like in the traditional waterfall model. Waterfall model, actually, you all know that, how actually you might have studied that in the software engineering or software project management book. So early 2010s that developed the Agile Scrum model, which is actually a team-based development, okay, which uses the collaborative tools that initially in the traditional waterfall model, there will be a development team, and there will be a business analyst team. Okay, from the business analyst team, actually the development will be taken over by the development team, and development team, once they complete it, they will hand over the project to a QA team, the quality assurance team. And once they do it, they will give it to a release management team for releasing. So there are multiple teams. That is what actually more resources are required in the traditional waterfall model. When it comes to Agile Scrum model, this team was actually shrink to 7-8 members per team, and it is like a scrum of scrums. Okay, so if you take a look at that, in that team they will have 2 developers, 1 QA, one release management person, like that. It is actually a comprised of a multiple group of team members, okay, chunked together, and then we can actually proceed with those activities in a very timely manner. Okay, though it is there are certain APIs. So APIs, but actually it's a very used microservice architecture, and the application interface is being used for in every layer, so that they can take care of the task in a very easy manner. Okay, so this reduces the requirement of the skills in doing the project development, and also it reduces the cost, and it also actually reduces the time to market. But that is the way that how the company handles that. Okay, now 2020 we are focusing on the codeless workshops. Codeless in the sense either there will be a very low code of writing things, or there will be any no code policies. So you can actually go and search in a Google saying that low code, no code development. So if you say that, then it will reduce the development by it's almost it's a kind of a drag and drop features to develop a program. Okay, so why actually this codeless workshops are in application development specifically it's needed is that what we are approaching, what we are doing is a kind of it's a pre-built functionality. Okay, for example, let you take, like any application, let's like a financial application. Okay. As a programmer, okay, leave out the business functionality there. As a programmer, what I do is I get an input and I make some calculations, I make some business logics, and then I have to store it in a database. So to get an input, I need actually a screen. So that screen can be developed there, isn't it? Like, it is like, it's like, like a pre-built mechanism that, like these are all the fields I need. And for database, I'm going to write same create, update, delete as a programming view. Okay, I'm not talking about the business logic view, but like as in a programming view, create, update, and delete, and select all these statements. So these things will be taken care by the software itself, and the machine learning and artificial intelligence comes in together to enhance this experience, so that it thinks about it, and it automatically enhances the program how you require that. So that is the evolution that is being going forward. And for when you look on the codeless workshops, the tools required is very, very like thin in the sense, like now we are mostly dependent on the cloud management and the cloud infrastructure. Skills also actually it's very less. Even the business analyst and the business persons can build out a functionality now. Cost is also very less. Time to market is quicker. Awesome. So as you guys are like, to start with the basic foundation, like, we need to understand the difference between like, human and the computer. Like, so let me ask, like, let me say that, like if there is a human, and if I am giving him an instruction, like, to fetch a water, isn't it? So from the water dispenser. So this is a very simple task, isn't it? So when I give this task to a human, we know that, like how to approach the water dispenser and take a glass out of it, and then, we can drink the water, isn't it? So this is a kind of an intelligence by default the human consumes. So even actually, like, when we grow up, we learn to do this. So if I am mimicking the same action with a computer or a robot or whatever it is, like, it's a machine. Okay. If I want to specify the same thing to a machine, like, what will be the instruction to do that? So that is the rise of the programming. Okay. So when I say that, like, if I want to instruct the machines to go and walk 10 steps, like, turn right, and then walk 30 steps. So this is a very, very high level steps that I'm actually giving you, presenting here as a programming. But, just as an example, you can look at it. So this is the how actually it moves. So I have written a program so that, like a machine will walk 10 steps, turn right, and walk 30 steps, so it can reach the water dispenser. Okay. What if the water dispenser is in a different location? Then I need to go back and change my programming, isn't it? Like, so when I write a program, it should be like, it's a certain step of mathematical calculations that works in only one way specifically. Okay. If I want to implement in a dynamic way of actually like doing the things, then I need an algorithm. Okay. So algorithm in the sense, like, it is not actually instructing the machine or instructing like writing a program to do in a specific way of doing it. What I will do is first find a distance between actually like, the machine and the water dispenser, and move closer in that direction, and again check the, like, distance. Like, whenever the distance becomes 0, then actually we can say that it reaches the target. Okay. So this is a kind of an algorithm. It doesn't matter, like wherever the, like water dispenser has been placed, isn't it? For example, like, if I specify this, like a machine can easily navigate through that water dispenser. Okay. What if I have a like any object in between? So if there is an object in between, then probably like, it will go hit it and then find a distance which is closer, and then actually move back to it. So wherever the target object is, like, this is actually, I'm taking it as an example because, like, you can easily understand it by means of this. But practically, you can actually, like, if you look at practically, you can actually, like, you can look at the, like any software applications in the medical field or, biotechnology field or bioinformatic field. So this information doesn't actually like work in a way that, like we expect. We need algorithms, more and more algorithms. That is the reason, like we are actually going with, like machine learning algorithm, AI algorithm, data analytic algorithm, data mining algorithm, data structure algorithms. And, see, there are a lot and lots of, like analysis and the programming is required. So when we approach the software application, we mostly we are in a need of an algorithm, not actually a specific set of steps, like, that actually like programs here. So when I say that, in a software application has actually how the humans actually like learn from their past experience. So when we call it as a machines, which actually follows the instruction, that is nothing but a programming thing. But we need to include these learnings, whatever the learnings that we have got from the data. So if we proceed with the data that is being fed to the computer, then actually like it will produce the software application, in effective software application specifically. Okay. Okay. Next, actually, let's discuss about like what is the software development process. Okay. Probably like when you think about like how actually the software is being developed in the industry, how actually they plan. Okay, there are certain steps. Okay, everything in the industry like works in the steps. Even actually in college, whatever the industry it is. Okay, it is a education institution, or like even actually poultry farms, or like in ISRO or NASA, whatever it is, like everything is actually an industry, and everything is had as a process. Okay, even actually in movie making, like there is actually a process. Okay, we do not know that like everything is considered as a project. Okay, project is actually like it is not actually restricted to a software or a hardware or anything like that. If you are building an AC, or if you are building a computer, it is also a development. It should go through a development process. Okay, without that it doesn't work. Okay. So let's talk about the software development lifecycle. Okay, here specifically. So how a software approach comes in, like so there will be a sales guy who can actually go and talk to the industry, like whoever there is a need or requirement. For example, let's say like I want actually a developer, or I want to produce a movie. Okay, let's say that like I want to create a movie. Okay. So what I'll do, like there will be an executive producer, and like there will be like sales guy who can actually approach them, and then like they will ask for the request for proposal. Request for proposal is actually an RFP. That is a legal document that specifies that this is the proposal that we are actually providing, and these are all the activities that we can provide, and this is the good thing actually that we will do, and everything will be listed there in a very clear-cut manner, because that's a legal document. Okay, so RFP is very, very important document to start the phase of the project. Okay, that is pre-project. Okay, without previously coming to any development or requirement analysis, this RFP is there. Okay, which carries a very high level thing there. Okay, and then once RFP is done, then they will produce a statement of work. Statement of work is nothing but we call it as SOW. So this statement of work will carries again, this is also a legal document which carries like what are all the items that we are promising to deliver. Okay, at the end of the project, these are all the items I will deliver. Okay, and this is the high level timeline. These are the number of persons required for doing this project. These are all the cost involved in bringing in these persons. These are all the expenses involved in doing that work. So all these items, or each and every list of item, is put together as a statement of work, and that is abided by the legal, and they are countersigned by both the parties of the legal, who can actually providing the project and who are undertaking the project. So these two people will agree and to start these things. That is called as statement of work, which is SOW. Okay, see, if when I talk about it, like you can think about like any development process. Like, initially I said that about it's a movie making, right? Like you can actually include movie making as a project. Okay, you can even actually if you are relating this thing with an apartment building. Okay, like I have a land, I want to build an apartment as a joint venture. Okay, I can give it to a construction company who can build this project. Similar thing. Okay, whatever that we are actually I have defined divided here as a sections. This will apply to any industry, any project. But here actually as a software, how actually it applies, I'm going to tell you in a more detail about it. Okay, so once this SOW is ready, the project will kick off. So project will kick off in the sense like, we have the we have the proper resources in hand, proper budget in hand, and proper allocations of the expenses in hand. So everything if is in hand, then actually we can kick off the project. So the first phase of the project is to do the requirement analysis. Requirement analysis, that what is the purpose of this project, like what are all the requirements breakdown, like in the sense like I want to build an apartment, or if I want to make a movie. Okay, so okay, what is the genre of the movie? Like how actually, what is the plot of the movie? Like how actually I divide my movies, like what will be my initial introductions, and what will be my another beginning of the plot, and what will be my interval block, and what will be my the second half part. So everything needs to be defined. Okay, this is called as requirement analysis. Okay, and even when you take it the construction company, like if I'm building an apartment, no, I'll actually lay out a plan, isn't it? I'll say, okay, I have a land of 1,500 square feet, so I need to build an apartment of 6 stories, so 6-story building in the sense how much actually areas we need. So all these and all will be analyzed as a requirement analysis phase. Okay, so once the requirement analysis is done, in the requirement analysis, they will determine just called as actually initial iteration plan. Okay, initial sprint plan or iteration plan, we can call it that way. So that defines that will give you a timeline when this is going to complete, when this will complete. Okay, and when actually this will take care of when this particular requirement will be taken care in the timeline. So all these things will be in a very high level. It is defined in the requirement analysis. And when it goes to design, whatever we have done at a very high level in the requirement analysis phase, we will do in a design phase. So the design phase is nothing but actually elaboration phase. Okay, requirement analysis we call it as the inception phase. Okay, inception, elaboration, construction, and validation. These are all the first 4 phases. Okay, inception is nothing but requirement analysis. Elaboration is the design, where we will define the technical abilities, technically specifying the requirements. Okay, to do this requirement, these are all the methods I need, these are all the algorithms I need, these are all the way that I need. Okay, like that, we need to design it. Okay, so once we design that, we have a clear-cut timeline. Okay, because we know all the technical specifications, right? So but at that time, we know that okay, this is how, or this is when this project is going to end, or this is how and when we are going to deploy to a production, when I am actually going to provide the release date, right? So design, and then it switches to a construction phase. So construction is nothing but the development or coding phase, we can say. So coding in the sense once we have the requirements and elaborations done, we can actually start coding with the whatever the languages we prefer, and we can go with that. So once the construction is done, then it will give it to a validation to make sure that what are all the requirements that we have specified that are covered in the construction or not. Okay, that is what the validation is. Once the validation is complete, we need to plan for the deployment. Deployment in the sense it is going to a production in the sense it is actually available for the people to use it. Okay, as you see that in mobile labs and all, you will see an update, right? Every time, every 15 days or every 1 month, that will be an update. Okay, WhatsApp has a strict policy of updating, must upgrade in every 3 months. So this is a kind of a policies that the companies may have, that any user should not use more than 3 months earlier products. So that is a kind of a software development process that was actually deployed. If you're using as a WhatsApp without updating for 3 months, it will say that you need to update it definitely. Okay, or if you're using a Hotstar, you can see that there is an update available. Click on update to upgrade the app. So the deployment is very, very necessary so that, like it reaches the people so quickly. Like we are going to talk about the same thing in Agile as well. So, but like you will come to know that what are all the phases here. Okay. Once the deployment is done, this 5 phases, requirement analysis, design, coding, testing, and deployment. Okay. This is in a continuous process. Okay. So once this continuous process is done, then there will be production support. Production support is a completely a different item other than the development team, where users are experiencing the are enjoying the features of the application and then provide them the feedback. If that is successful, and if you have any issues, or if you have any problems with your your service or payments or anything like that, you have to contact the production support kind of thing. So production support is a separate team who knows what is in the project and who is the primary users of the application. Okay, because if only they know the product, or they know the project, then they can actually support the users as well. So, and we will do the project closure. The project closure gives you the sign-off document. Sign-off document is the thing that where actually both the legal parties agree that yes, all the requirements, all the items that are specified in the SOW are done, and I am signing off this project. So this is the whole project life cycle that software companies actually following everywhere. Okay, so to follow this process, any model you take, we are going to specifically talk about inception, elaboration, construction, and validation, and the deployment. Okay, this is the standard thing that we are going to do in any model. Okay, so there are different software development methodology models that are available in the industry, and some of it are I have listed in the left hand side, which is actually a waterfall model is the traditional model we use actually 20 years back. Agile is one of the model. Iterative is the another model. As I told you, we can build the iteration plans towards it. Spiral model is also another model to develop it. DevOps is the new model that we are using right now. Lean is the like an Agile. Lean is also one of the methodology to speed up the product delivery. Okay, it is no longer actually we will wait for a month or 2 months to do that. For every day we can release an update. Every day we can work on the key functionality or the critical functionality, and once it is done, we will release an update. So we won't wait for a constant a specified timeline to do that. Okay, so any model you follow, these are all the steps, or these are all the process that you have to understand how the project works. Okay, so as I told you that there will be a requirements, right? So a product owner is the person who owns the product. Okay, whatever the product that we are going to build, that product is owned by a product owner. Okay, he talks to customers, he talks to base users, he talks to executives, he talks to stakeholders. Stakeholders in the sense they are actually responsible for the product users. So, and they own some responsibility inside the project as well as the outside the project. Yeah, like that. Stakeholders may be a primary user or a non-primary user. Okay, or from when when I say stakeholders, it's competitor company is also kind of a stakeholder. What they are doing, what are all the features that they have, it's a called of competitive analysis. Okay, so these things product owner will analyze, and he will build a product backlog in the sense those are all the set of requirements or set of things that are required for me in this project to work on. So he is the one who will actually do that, and he will also not only create the features and the stories, he will also actually prioritize it. He will do that. Okay, this is the first feature I need, this is the second feature I need. So he will prioritize it. Once he builds this product backlog, DevOps team, we call it as actually a sprint team or a DevOps team. They will take into a sprint. Sprint is nothing but actually a shorter span. How actually we say that in inception, elaboration, construction, and validation, right? In a waterfall model, everything will take around 2 months, okay, or a 1 month by default. So if we take 1 month for inception, once actually inception is done, we will go to an elaboration. That will be a 1 month, and it will be construction for 1 month and validation. So 4 months will be piled up, right? But in the Agile Scrum model and as well as the DevOps model, what we do is we shrink this process into a sprint. Sprints is it's maximum 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, 2-week sprint or 3-week sprint is the ideal basic things actually that we will learn. So no sprint should not be longer than 3 weeks. Okay. So within this 3 weeks, we will do inception, we will do elaboration, we will do construction, and we will do the validation and the deployment as well. Okay. So this is what the new methodology of DevOps and the Agile as well. Okay. So what we will do the sprint planning meeting. So sprint planning meeting in the sense like, we will pick up the backlogs that can be accomplished in the sprint. So in the span of 2 to 3 weeks, okay, how many backlogs we can complete. So the team will decide and pick those backlogs. If I have a team of 7 members, like 4 developers, 2 SQAs, and 1 Scrum Master, and 1 like that, and then I will pick determine the capacity of the team, and then I'll determine the tasks to be done on that particular sprint. Okay. Once I specify this task, I'll break out the user story into specific tasks. Specific tasks in the sense like, for example, login functionality I need to develop. So login functionality is a feature, right? That we can actually call it as a, it's a user story. So you can, as a customer, I want to log into an application. So this is a one kind of a user story. Okay. So this user story needs to be break down by the developers as here, build a login form, okay, and build an API for the authentication, build a database structure. So these are all the tasks that needs to be break out. Okay, so UI UX is one thing, and business logic is another thing, and third part is the database. So like that, the tasks are breakout, and QA member will create a validation task. So there are certain tasks will be done, and they will take it as a sprint backlog. So once the sprint backlog is done, we will actually start development, and every 24 hours we will have a daily Scrum meeting. Yeah, daily Scrum meeting in the sense it's a kind of a stand-up call. Okay, why we call it as a stand-up call in the sense it should not take more than 2 to 3 minutes to complete. Okay, maximum of 5 minutes is the daily Scrum meeting. Okay. So in that meeting, what the people will tell is that, what I have done today, what I actually what is my plan for doing that particular task. And if I am facing any roadblocks, I will tell it to the Scrum Master. So the Scrum Master will take that roadblock and clear it out. Okay. For example, if I'm working on a machine, my machine actually got stuck. I need a new machine. So that is a kind of one kind of a roadblock that we cannot continue. So Scrum Master is the person who's responsible for providing an alternative for that particular machine for the person to resolve that one. Okay, and then Scrum Master will take out the burn down charts. Burn down charts says, for example, starting off the sprint, I have 50 tasks, right? And every day he will keep track of the tasks that are being completed, and he will do a graph of from 50 to the 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, what is the number of tasks remaining? How much actually data. So that is what is called as burn down charts, and burn up charts is actually similar way. We start from 0, and then how many tasks that are completed per day will be added and piled up as well. So that is the way of how Scrum Master handles. Okay, so this will be doing for 2 to 4. Here actually I have specified as 1 to 4 week sprint, but ideal is actually 2 to 3 weeks. So once after the sprint, we will complete the work and we will do the deployment and everything, and there will be a sprint review meeting. Okay, sprint review and sprint retrospective are 2 different meetings, but for the same purpose. Okay, so sprint review will be with morely on a technical side. Technical side in the sense we will talk with the developers, we will talk with QA and other team members, other customer service people. So those people actually will be involved, and we will be reviewing what went wrong, what went right, what is actually that is happening, and why there is a delay, kind of those things. Okay. Retrospective is a little broader meeting that we tell the stakeholders as well, this is what actually happened in the sprint. Okay, this capacity is being wrong, and we have estimated this wrong, or something like that. Or we have done some excellent programming. We have enhanced this feature. We have actually provided beautiful things here. So like that, the sprint retrospective will carry all the weightage of things being done. So once after this retrospective, then actually we go back to the sprint planning meeting. So this is how the total software development methodology is happening right now in the industry. Okay, so this is how actually like we follow specifically, and this is the 90% working model in any specific software company. Okay, like agile methodology is the one, like even actually I can tell you, not only the software companies or software development needs to be done like this. Okay, for example, you are going to do a mini project, or you are going to do a project. Okay, so what do? You need to first gather the requirement analysis, and you elaborate it, you construct it, and you validate it. Okay, if you have a team of 4 members, you can do all these jobs. Okay, and then you can actually act like a small group of DevOps team, and then you can deploy it as well, right? So basically, like, if, for example, like, okay, not talking about projects at all. Okay, if you want to learn a subject, okay, you are going to learn a subject for your semester. Okay, how do you do it? So you define what are all the specific chapters you need to read, you list it out, you prioritize it, what are all the important things that you need to learn first. So that is what the product backlog is. Once you do that, you split your timing plan by sprints. For every 2 weeks, this is what I will accomplish. Okay, from today, next Friday, I'll be accomplishing this. Okay, and another 2 weeks, I'll be accomplishing this. So I will define a brief plan out of it. That is what the sprint planning is. Okay, so as per the sprint plan for this current 2 weeks, I am going to specify these are the items that I'm going to study, or these are the topics I am going to study. So that is what the sprint backlog is. Okay, for example, if I take software engineering subject like that, and then I will define what are all the models I have to study. So like that, I will define what are all the sections or what are all the topics I am going to study for this specific 2 sprints, for 2 weeks in a sprint. So that is what the task breakout is. Okay, on a daily basis, you can review yourself whether I have achieved this or not. What I have done today, what I'm going to do tomorrow. That is what the Scrum is. Okay, and Scrum Master is nothing but your guide or your professor. Okay, who can help you if you are stuck with any question on the particular topic. Okay, if you do not know what is actually happening on that particular topic, you can reach out to your professor and ask that. So your professor is the Scrum Master there. So you can go and reach out to the professor and ask them, no, this is not actually this is not working for me. This is not actually understandable. So he can explain you that these are all the things that so he can clear you that impediment. Okay, specifically, and you can track yourself for the burn down chart. No need to actually Scrum Master needs to do it, but you can track yourself with the burn down chart. And once you complete that subject in 2 weeks, then you can think that okay, I have planned for 7 topics, but I have accomplished only 6. What happened there? Okay, so that is a kind of sprint review under retrospective means. Okay, or like that, I have planned for 7 topics, but I have completed that in 6 days itself, and I have actually taken more topics as well, like 10 topics. What went there? Actually, why I have estimated the 6 topics in a wrong manner. So you can analyze it. So either in a positive way or in a negative way. We can do that positive review and retrospective, and then you can actually go back to your study. You understand the process, right? So this is how the methodology works. Okay, so when I talk about software development methodology, it doesn't actually talk about software methodology. This is a general methodology, but to make it specific, we are specifying it as a software development methodology. Okay, even the same thing, you can apply it for the farming. Okay, if I want to put a rice or paddies into my farm field. Okay, so I will say that these are all the priority items I have to do, and these are all things I have to do, and these are all the tasks on a daily basis I have to do, and what I am accomplishing in 2 weeks, whether that I am actually spraying the disinfectant or anything all these the things that actually grows actually grows the vegetables or the paddies actually well, so are being inspected very well. So those things we can apply this methodology to any project we take. Okay, fine. Let's talk about a DevOps roadmap here. which is actually I will give you like overall things of like how to do that, like what are all the things to do that. Okay. Right. So first thing we start about like learn a programming language. Okay, it doesn't matter like which language you pick. Okay, you need to learn some programming knowledge. Okay, be it Python, Ruby, Node.js, Go, Rust, or C++, whatever it is. Okay, first thing in the DevOps tools, like what you need is you need to learn a programming language. Okay, so go and learn the programming language, any of these tools, because like whatever we are going to talk about will apply to any language, any methodology, like any programming structure like that. Okay. Second thing is that most important topic is like understand the different operating system concepts, because this is very, very important. Whether you are going to develop a console application, desktop application, web application, web services, cloud management, any application you build, you need to understand these things so that like you can utilize it better way. Okay. First thing is that how the processes will be managed inside the operating system, process management. Okay. Threads and concurrency. Like if you want to do a parallel execution and everything, you need to know about threads. Without threads, nothing works. Okay. And sockets. Sockets is a web related, how you intercommunicate from one machine to another machine. How do you stream a video? How do you stream an audio? Okay, how the operating system works. Okay, there is a concept called casting right now. Like you can, in your mobile, in YouTube, if you go, there will be a cast button at the top. So you can cast the YouTube to your LED television, like a smart TV or something like that. So there is a cast button. If you click on a cast, it will do a casting of the same application in your TV. Or we can do a screen mirroring. Screen mirroring in this, whatever you see in your mobile, that will be displayed in your TV as well. Okay. So sometimes like applications like like Hotstar or Sony Live, they won't allow you to stream because like they protect at the socket level. Okay. Okay. You go and actually like learn these concepts. These concepts are very, very important. And all these concepts, what I'm actually talking about, this is not actually like anything new outside from your books. These are all topics are available in your books. What you need to do is you need to understand the concept and read it. That's it. Okay. And IO management, input output management, how actually it is being handled, what are all interrupts and how actually it will be used, like that, virtualization, and how the memory and storage will be handled. Like if it is a primary hard disk, secondary hard disk, like cloud management, like how actually it is stored, AWS storage, like this, file systems. So these are all the different OS concepts that you must learn for developing any programming. If you want to be a very good programmer in a software industry, you need to understand these concepts in a very good way. Okay. Third thing, once you understand this, you need to know how to manage the servers. Okay, because we are not going to work in a one machine and then like we are not going to deploy it in that particular machine only. Okay. If you write a program, you need to deploy that in a multiple machines in a cloud so that it is going to run in every machine, right? If you are developing an Android application, you don't you don't restrict to your Android phone only. Okay, the screen size might be 5.7 or 6.2. Okay, but when you upload it to an Android store like Play Store, that Play Store, like people can download to any Android device. It might be a 3.2-inch screen, right? 4.5 screen. So version of the Android, like 6, 7, 8, like it needs to adjust it, like so that you need to know how to handle that distribution. Okay, so when specifically talking about managing servers, you need to understand how the Linux servers will be handled, how the Unix servers will be handled, how the Windows servers will be handled. Okay. Moreover, when we talk about now actually the cloud and everything, we need to know how to learn to live in the terminal. Terminal in the sense like the console window, like in most of the movies you see that like they will actually open that like Maven or Gradle form, like Linux based system, and they type it commands. Okay, the commands will be running something like that like in the background and everything, right? But the terminal way of actually doing the thing is a very traditional way and the easiest way of doing the things. Okay, Node.js, Python, C++, and everything actually goes in that way only. So it is actually good to know to manage servers as well as like to live in terminals. In specifically when I talk about the terminals, we talk about the text manipulation tools. Like you need to type in a program, right? So if you want to type in a program and you need to do some manipulations of the program, you need to know the commands there, like awk, cd, grep, sort, unique. These are all the Linux commands that I'm talking about. And there is a bash scripting is also available. Similarly, in Windows, we have a PowerShell scripting. Like PowerShell is actually a part of the Windows, as I specified in the underneath the Vim, Nano, PowerShell, Emacs. So those are all different systems that we actually specifically talk about. And fourth one is network and security. Okay, we need to learn about network. Okay, without networking, we cannot actually understand or go through the programming things. Okay, so you need to understand what is DNS, what is OSI model, and what is HTTP, what is HTTPS. Okay, most of the persons actually, I am actually taking the freshers interview every year. I'll be taking around 1,500 candidates per year. Okay, and I have been actually been into colleges for doing some mass interviews and everything, but most of the 90% of the candidates they do not understand what is the difference between secured socket layer and the normal layer. That's like HTTP and HTTPS, how it works. Okay, why? In the sense they are so desperate about learning a programming language, but they are not understanding the basics of it. Okay, that is the reason we need to concentrate on, okay, what is there with the HTTP, what is the problem with the what is the ideology behind the HTTPS, what is the ideology behind FTP. SFTP is a different thing. Okay, and mostly secure layer is how actually it is formed. And specifically when we talk about system performances as well, which is actually coming at a terminal, but I'm talking with network and security as well. Okay, so network commands, how the system performance behaves with that network and security. So all these things needs to be taken care to understand it, and then you apply into a programming. Okay, and fifth one is what is and how to set up a proxy server, how to set up a coaching server, how to set up a load balancer, firewall. Okay, I know that most of you people having a router in your home, right? Okay, ask yourself how many of you have configured router yourself? I don't know that whether actually you can you go and set the DNS and what is the proxy in it, what is the setting up the rules in it. So setting up the router is a basic network functionality that everyone should know in this actually programming area. So but most of the people actually ignore it because they they read about it, but they do not apply it. Okay, so this is actually one thing. Okay, again, most of the people actually are now use the personal hotspot, right? Personal hotspot to share through a Wi-Fi or network. How actually it works. Okay, ask yourself and try to write a definition of it. How actually the one phone actually access the Wi-Fi, access the network through Wi-Fi from another phone. Yeah, how it is being established. Okay, how the Bluetooth works between two phones. Okay, yeah, I definitely understand that you go to a settings, Bluetooth, you switch on, there will be a discovering, and okay, how actually it works. How the two Bluetooth devices communicate between each other. What is the protocol that is being used there? Okay, so these are all the items that question you should ask yourself, so that it will explore the knowledge of the particular area that you want to explore. Okay, and specifically when we talk about what is and how to is it web server. So web server, in the sense, web server is the key part of any web application, even the desktop application for API and services that needs to be administrated. Okay, so you need to know what are all the web servers, how actually the IAS done it, how actually the Apache Tomcat does that, Nginx does that, Caddy does that. Okay, so see, these are all the tools that I have actually shown as an examples. There are a lot of tools there. Okay, I'm just saying. And sixth thing is learn the infrastructure as code. Infrastructure in the sense, this is a little advanced kind of stuff that we are using it for the past 5 years. Maybe at the college level, you may not know these things, but if you know that is amazing. Okay. How we actually you port the code is the way of containers. Okay, containers is actually nothing but, see, if I want to install a software, what should I do? Or install an IAS, like, deploy the website means what I do is I will deploy that particular thing in my in my web server, and then I'll push it to a cloud and everything. If it's a desktop application, I need to install in each and every desktop, right? Instead, what I can do is I can create a containers. Containers is actually a small, it's a kind of a virtual machines without operating system. Okay, virtual machines without operating system. I'll have a Docker, and where I can install application and I can share this Docker anywhere. It is like packaging the application and give it outside. Okay, you can actually go and explore more in the Google and everything. What are containers, what is Docker and everything. Okay, and for these specific settings, there are configuration management, Ansible, Salt, Chef, and everything. This code and infrastructure provisioning is actually Terraform and CloudFormation. You can do that. Okay. Seventh item is CI/CD. CI/CD is a continuous integration and continuous deployment. Okay, so it's like, once you write a code, there's a repetitive process of doing the validation and pushing it to a deployment. Okay, why I need to do that? If I'm actually in a process-oriented company, so I'll write a code and I check into a source control repository. Then the CI/CD tool will take care of deploying into a production and validation, and it will take care of deploying into a pre-production and production. Okay, and eighth one is learn how to monitor the software infrastructure. Okay, once you have completed the software, how it is going to work. Okay, what is actually it is doing, how much memory it takes, how much disk space it takes. Okay, and so these things are very, very important so that you learn about how your programming consumes the resources. Okay, and then we talk about cloud providers. So the cloud providers is actually AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, Microsoft's Azure, DigitalOcean, Heroku. These are all the items that are actually available and we can actually load. Okay, so you can go and search these items, and there are certain actually software names and things actually I have given here. So it would be nice to explore these things which are practically being used in the software industry right now. We are using most of the items. Yellow highlighted items like Docker, Ansible, Terraform, Jenkins, TeamCity, AWS, and all. We are using that particular thing. Okay. So tools and techniques when we come to that. Okay. So as a requirement, when we talk about requirements, so we need a visualization of that, UI UX of that, right? So there is a thing called sketch to code. Okay, this is a Microsoft's test design. Okay, where you can do is you can draw the web page, how actually it looks like. So you can draw the web page and you can upload that drawing using this upload design button. If you say that, automatically it will create an HTML for you. Okay, so it is a very useful way. This is actually very useful when converting your design to a based programming. Okay, so this will give you this gives the user the experience that okay, this is how the design should be, and this is how actually it should be appear in my website. Okay, you can go to sketchtocode.com. This is it works with the AI. This is actually Microsoft's design, where actually we use that for prototyping to a design module. Okay, sketch to code. I'll show you how actually. And the source code, basically we use Git. So GitHub or GitLab. Okay, both of these things are actually free pretty much. And you can actually collaborate the team members and you can bring in the team members. So whatever the code we write, whatever the programming we do, whatever the documents we develop, that will not reside in our local laptops or local machines, because we do not know. These are all electronic devices, right? Okay, now, so if I am writing a worth of a code today, 8 hours worth of a code, I should not keep it in my own laptop or own mobile. Okay, it needs to be uploaded to a source control repository so that it resides in a cloud where I can actually download it anywhere. Okay, so the source code repository, source control repository, whatever you do also, any mini project or even study materials. Okay, GitHub is free, GitLab is also free. Create your own account and go to projects, and you can actually push all your files there so that you can actually refer it on a later basis. Okay, this is very, very important of using the source control. Code editor we recommend and we use is that Visual Studio Code is the the latest one, a couple of years that we are using it right now, and it has an enormous ability of working with around like 180 languages, in the sense like, like if you want to develop Node.js, we can go with the Visual Studio. We can do, if you want to do C# ASP.NET code, you can go with the Visual Studio Code. Okay. I am using Ubuntu. I'm not at all using Windows. Still, you can use Visual Studio Code. Okay. And I'm using a Docker, Azure manner. And if you want to integrate with the source code repository, everything can be done with the Visual Studio Code. So these are all the three main components that we actually use in our projects on a day-to-day basis. Okay. And fourth component is actually like it's a kind of a web-based automation tool. So once you create an application, we use this tool for testing it. Okay, this is an automation thing that like you can go out in. This is also free, completely free. You can actually like go and like log in and attach yourself, and there will be an agent. You can actually like here actually you can see this. Okay, where is my agent? Okay, here actually agents. So if you go there, you can download a small agent exe file, and that agent will take care of running the application. But this is where you keep all your validation functionalities. Okay, like this is how the testing will happen. So one by one, actually, like you can continue on that one. So proceeding to the learning labs, I recommend all the students, specifically like UG or any whatever the students will be, they can use this Flowgorithm. So Flowgorithm is a kind of an like a tool where you do not need to know the language. Okay, you go and download this tool and you create. There is a tutorial as well in the same website. If you go there, you can actually find it out. You can create a flow chart there. Okay, and then you can run the flow chart. Okay, and if you want to export it to a different language, like if you want to convert that to a code, you can convert that to 18 programming languages: C#, C++, Java, whatever the programming language you want, you can convert it to it. Okay, so what this will imply is that this Flowgorithm tells you, are you good in logic or not? Okay, it doesn't care about like whether you know the programming, how to do it or not. Okay, if you are good in logic, you can build a flowchart and you can run it. Okay, you can do an input, you can do an output, and what are all the operations, basic operations, whatever actually we can do. Even algorithms, like say recursion algorithm, yeah, anything like if you go to the website, you can actually see that like there are all tutorials, and this is also completely free. You can actually download, and like this is the best step up tool for any programmer or any UG candidates to like step into a programming life. Okay, so this will give you enormous knowledge of like how to proceed with the programming. Second thing is, if you want to learn more about programming and if you want to test yourself and if you want to do it, there is a website called HackerRank. So where you can go, you can register yourself as a developer and you can do some problem solving basics. You can do a REST. There are a lot of topics. Okay, Java, JavaScript, C#, C, C++, algorithms, data structures. Okay, like functional algorithms, like everything is here. Okay, you can go and choose it. It will give you like a challenges. Okay, you need to challenge. If you complete the challenge, you will get 10 points. Okay, yeah, and if you complete that particular program, you will get 20 points. And it does not restrict you to write a program in one language. You can choose whatever the language you want. You want C#, you want Java, even Java, like it has a Java 8 and Java 9. Python, Perl, C, C++. You can write program in any language if you want. Okay, so this will give you like proficiency in the programming. Okay, like this will actually enhance your programming skills when you actually have like around. If you have 1,000 points in HackerRank, you are a good programmer, I would say. Okay, and there is if you want to learn more about AI, like machine learning, algorithms and everything, go to aischool.microsoft.com. So this is also free, where actually it talks about cognitive services, like artificial intelligence services specifically. And like there is a learn button here, like the learn menu. Inside that, you can choose the artificial learning school, and you can explore a lot of courses, lot of tutorials, which takes like step-by-step operations. Like go click here, next to do, type here, like that, like very basic. This is actually a school practice. AI School is actually like it's a wonderful platform for all the programmers, budding developers, to know how actually the things work in that way. Okay, so by saying that, like I conclude my session here with the Q&A operations, like Q&A questions here. Anything, please let me know so that I can actually answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. Really, the session was very informative. Your speech is really an eye-opener for all of us.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dear students, you can get your queries answered with the resource person now. You can send your questions through chat option.
Karthi, please check. The students
Till
can
now,
post
no,
their questions on the chat box.
sir. No questions, sir. Till now.
Awesome. Okay, there is one specifically like frequently asked question that actually comes in to my like, how do I choose my project? Like, no, what is my project? How do I know what project I should do? Like, no, that is one of the questions that usually I get in all my workshops, specifically with the like the final year students. That like I want to choose a project. What project I should do? Okay, see the project is nothing actually like there is no specific thing as this is the project you will do, this is the application that you want to do for a software like software development like that. Okay, how you follow, you can take any project, okay, but think of three things. Okay, first thing, your project should at least involve some social responsibility. Okay, because why I'm saying this is like once you actually get into a company, there are some companies that definitely use the social responsibilities, but like not all the companies that they actually go behind. That's a business, okay. But at least like when you do a college-based project, like first to stick to like that project must involve some social responsibility activities. Okay. Second thing is that it um, it needs to like get you like in the sense like you should be like you should be interested in doing that, like that programming, it should keep you exploring. Okay, that kind of an object, that project, whatever actually you take, that really enhances your skills. Okay, like you should be very much interested in doing that project. Okay, it is not like okay, I have chosen this project so I have to complete it like that. Okay, you should be that project should give you an energy to do this. Yes, actually, some things actually, if I accomplish it, I should feel happy about it. That is my second point. Third thing is that that project should be your own work. Okay, if you are doing like even it is a very small project, it doesn't matter at all. Okay, how much of efforts you put, okay, how much programming language you learned, how much approach you have learned, that is the very key important thing. Okay, so if you do that, then it would be awesome project no matter what the project is. But even actually that is actually a amazing project. Which methodology is the best software for the software? See, right now we are using Agile and Lean. Okay, see, that is actually like based on the project and the client we choose. Okay, some clients some clients actually needs a kind of a product development. So if their product development means, then actually we go with the DevOps model. So DevOps model in the sense like we develop and release it in a very frequent way. Okay, some projects are a customer support model. Customer support model is actually an agile in the sense you cannot expect, you cannot actually like expect this timeline will happen. Okay, maybe like if there is a production issue, we need to support right now, so that will go into an agile means flexible. Okay, that is what the like agile model is the most used model right now in the industry, and few people uses DevOps as well. So DevOps is also a practice that we follow here. So I would call DevOps and Agile. During your suggestions for the final year students during COVID situation. Okay, it doesn't matter like whether it is a COVID-19 situation or like without COVID-19 situation, you are going to sit in front of your computer. Okay, you are going to sit in front of your mobile. Okay, you have a like I don't understand actually basically like what is the COVID-19 situation does with the suggestions or anything like that. Learning opportunities everywhere. You can go online, you can learn and you can explore these things. You may be asking that like the companies won't allow you get into a company and do the project or something like that. No, all the companies are allowing you to work, and there are internships are going on. A lot of companies actually like accept the internships. If you have the proper knowledge in the quality of your work, you need to present it yourself, and if you do that, then actually like they are accepting it and they will actually like continue with that one.
Sir, there is another question.
Sure.
Sir, which language would prove to be efficient for doing better projects?
So it doesn't actually depends upon the language. Like, no, it depends upon the proficiency that you seek. Like, no, if you think that, like you are good in Java, please proceed with Java. If you are good in Python, like, see, some programming languages I am very much interested in, right? Like, no, so when I write a programming language, I should feel happy on that one specifically. So like that, like, see, I started my career with, like, there's a thing called, you might have not actually heard of. There's a programming language, Clipper. Okay, Clipper is the one that I started with, and then actually I slowly moved on to like, C, C++, Perl, and web, like, Visual Basic, and then Power Builder, like that. Like, see, every time the language changes, okay, it is not actually one language you will stick to, but how you provide, like, how your proficiency, how you develop your proficiency in that particular concept. Okay, see, while loop, for loop, if block, or the section methods or something like that is common to all the languages. Okay, it is not going to change. But what is the simplest way of using the libraries? What is the simplest way of using external things? Like, for example, okay, you do the straight answer right now, it's Python. Okay, go with Python, so that you can utilize all the libraries right now, and then you can actually proceed with all kinds of development. Okay, that is the straight answer for your question. But in my opinion, it doesn't matter. If you know Java, you can also do that in Java. Please explain, elaborate about UI, UX, and opportunities of UX design. See, as a part of this DevOps team, like, UI, UX is actually, like, it's a kind of front-end developers. It was created earlier, and it is actually right in a boom. Okay, like every team, every DevOps team will have a UI, UX developer. So no issues in that one at all. So UI, UX scope is huge, and UI, UX is not limited to the designs. Okay, where you go do some Photoshops or XD or something like that. Not limited. You need to learn the front-end languages as well, like Angular, React, JS. Okay, like not any TypeScript language, whatever that TypeScript. Like if you know Flutter will be an amazing mobile application development platform with the UI, UX experience as well. So go with Angular, go with Flutter, go with React JS. So those are all the UI designers and UI, UX things that you will be. How to check the app is safe and secure to use, developed by our Android Studio. There are specific security check tools that we use to implement. One of the tool is called Burp Suite, BURP Okay, Burp Suite is one of the tool that we use for our security check, and the same application actually, like, so how we handle our protocols, how we handle our open connections, so that makes our safe vulnerable. Okay, so if you are weak in actions, if you are weak in using the databases, because in Android application and all, database resides there in your phone, right? Local database that needs to be synced to. If you do not use the server, then actually, like, that database can be hacked or can be done actually in any way. So if that's the case, use Veracode is actually another application, but it's actually a paid tool that you can actually go with. But Burp Suite is actually, Burp Suite in Linux is free. Okay, you can use the Linux, Kali Linux or something like that. Kali Linux is a specific OS operating system which available with most of the security tool options in there as a free versions. Okay, you can use a virtual machine, Kali Linux virtual machine, and you can test out your apps that whether actually it is vulnerable or not. And as I said that, there is a development process, right? And there are some development best practices. Okay, that has how you can do your secured way of DB connection, how you can configure the secured way of your web servers, like that and all. Okay, so if that is there, then it will be nice. Okay, what are all the skills I need to become a front-end developer? Okay, you need to learn TypeScript language. Basically, you need to learn TypeScript in the sense like any like Angular or React JS kind of like a JavaScript languages, and you need to learn HTML5, CSS3, and a little bit of a Photoshop, or not actually specifically Photoshop. You need to adopt tools like XD. XD is actually like it's a tool where you can create a mockups. Okay, where you can actually create a layouts and the layers of the web pages and the desktop application, UI, UX, and everything. Okay, and there are certain tools like Zeppelin. Okay, so the Zeppelin you can create a tool, you can create a front end, and then you can actually share it to the people. So Zeppelin, Zeplin, Zeppelin, Adobe XD, those things are tools that you use in the programming way. HTML5, CSS3, like TypeScript language, Angular or React. That is neat. Kindly mention some project management tools. There are a lot of project management tools are there. Basically, like most of the companies, even in actually CTS, TCS, Infosys, and everybody uses their Excel as a project management tool right now. But Jira is one of the amazing tool that Jira is one of the amazing tool that used for the project management. Azure DevOps, like Microsoft's Azure DevOps management tool is actually there. So that is also an amazing tool to use with, where you can actually like configure like Agile, Scrum, and everything. Which operating system can be used for projects? It depends. Like we do not actually develop programs for operating systems. Okay. For the development, like a few developers are like, I prefer Windows, but my colleague actually prefers Mac. So we both actually like, operating systems, actually, it doesn't matter, because, we are going to deploy it in the web server. And even with any other application that we build it in Windows, but we run it in Ubuntu. Okay, we run it in AWS cloud with any structure management. If it is an IIS, like IIS ASP.NET application, then we will do it in a Windows Server operating system. So it depends upon the project, and we do not, as a programmer, you should not depend on the operating system. Okay, it should be like it should be open to everyone. Awesome. Where you should learn complete Python from the beginner to the Python website. You go to Python website, and there will be a learn Python link is there. Go there. There will be a tutorial. Getting started is the first link, and you start from there. You click next, and do it. And in 2 months, you can actually learn amazing Python language there if you concentrate well on that one. So see, right now there is no need to go to a third-party site or do that. Go to the direct website. If you want to learn Flutter, go to Flutter. Okay, and then you can learn it from there, because those are the people who have their updated versions there. Okay, any change in application, that will be provided there. So it is always go to the home site for all the application. How can I learn mobile app development? Mobile app development is split into two things. One is an Android and iOS. Okay, you can actually if you want to do a generic way of mobile app development, not going with Android Studio, not going with Xcode means, then you can learn Flutter. Okay, Flutter is a generic mobile platform where you can write one code, but that can run in Android and that as well as iOS. Okay, that is one way of application development. So go to flutter.io. You can learn that mobile app development. That is amazing though. How can we create hacking tool software, sir? Hacking tool software in the sense, what are you going to hack? So you first need to learn about it. Okay, if you want to hack into it, there is a separate course called as ethical hacking. It is actually a legal thing to understand the security concerns there. So it is actually good for the all the developers to know about it. So there is a lot of things like cross-site scripting, XSS. That is what actually we call it as XSS. This is called as a cross-site scripting. Okay, so we need to know what is the vulnerable attack there. We are querying the phishing attack. Okay, lot of things are there about specific hacking, how we actually do that. Is there any free platform to learn complete about automation? Yeah, I show you, right? afschool.microsoft.com. Amazing platform for learning the artificial intelligence ideas and even the machine learning ideas. aischool.microsoft.com. That one is an amazing platform for that. Okay.
Thank you, students. Hope all your queries have been clarified and had a wonderful time. Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge with us.
Sure.
Dear participants, the feedback link is posted in the chat box. Kindly fill it before you leave. As all things come to an end, we hardly realize that we receive a great deal more than what we give, and that it is only with gratitude that the life becomes rich. Now we call upon Ms. M.S. Kokila, Assistant Professor of our department, to deliver a vote of thanks. Please, ma'am.
Good morning, all. On behalf of Team Computer Science, I am much delighted to present a vote of thanks in this occasion. I'd like to extend my gratitude to our correspondent sir for his support in all our activities. I would like to thank our principal sir for guiding and motivating in all our initiatives. We are fortunate to have Mr. Ganapathy Subramaniam as a resource person for today's program. Sir, your guidance on project development will help our students throughout their career. Thank you, sir. I would like to extend my thanks to our HOD, Mr. P. Ramesh, who always make everything possible with the team CS. Thank you for your guidance, sir. I thank the HODs and faculty members who made this section as a successful one. I thank the students from the Department of Computer Science, BCA, Computer Technology and Information Technology for their active participation. I once again thank one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I take this wonderful moment to thank each and every participant who made it a point to attend this DBT-sponsored interdisciplinary program, a guest lecture on guidance on project development program today. Thank you, one and all. Meet you all again in another session. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The students are instructed to fill up the feedback form at the earliest.
The feedback link is posted in the chat box. Kindly fill it before you leave.
On behalf of Team Computer Science, and thank you, Mr. Ganapathy sir, for this wonderful session. And it's time to conclude the session. And thanks for participating, my dear friends. We will wind up the meeting. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.